Good morning, yogis. Namaste. Come into your comfortable seated position with your hips and seated bones slightly elevated so your knees can touch the floor. And then make sure you are relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your belly is relaxed. Place your hands in front of your heart in prayer and set an intention for today's practice. What do you want to achieve today or the rest of the week? Once you've set your intention, let your hands rest on your lap and turn your attention inward. In this Ashtanga Asana practice, which will follow, we want to become and stay aware of our breath. Do that now. Where is your breath? Is it fast, slow, shallow? Don't judge it. Just be with it. And if we do one thing today, it's not going to be a handstand. I'd like you to stay present just with your breath for the entire practice. This is our yoga. And when thoughts come and go, don't push them away. Just acknowledge them and come back to your practice. Can you find stillness? Maybe even when it's chaos in your head. Now onto our asana practice, Sun Salutations. Come to the top of your mat and get rid of all the props. And let's move with our breath. Samastitihi. Inhale, rise your arms up. Exhale, fold. And just let gravity do the job. Grab your opposite elbows. And don't try to force anything. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step back into a high or low plank. And chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, your first downward facing dog of the day for 5 breaths. And in this downward facing dog, make sure to press firmly through the hands. Elevate your bum towards the sky. Create some extra space by alternating your feet up and down. And breathe. Then on your next inhalation, step and jump forward in between the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, samastitihi, round 2. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or jump back into a high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Every inhalation, we create more space, and every exhalation, we go a little bit deeper into our pose. Inhale, step or jump in between the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and circle your arms up. Exhale, samastiti. Inhale, round 3, circle your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, follow the breath halfway up. Exhale, jump back into a high plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, roll over the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes. Downward facing dog, 5 breaths here. Press firmly through the hands and stay with your breath. Exhale, step or jump in between the hands. Fold. Inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, samastiti. Inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or jump back into a high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. These sun salutations are the warm-up of our asana practice, or might as well be a full asana practice on their own. Stay still and connect with your breath. Move with your breath. Jump forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle your arms up. And exhale, samastiti. Inhale, Surya Namaskar A B, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or jump back into a high plank, chaturanga. Roll over your toes, inhale. And roll over the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg comes up into the sky. Exhale, place your right foot in between your hands, left foot 45 degrees. Inhale, rise the arms up, look up. Exhale, right foot steps back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, roll over the toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg comes up. Exhale, left leg between the hands, right foot 45 degrees. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, left foot steps back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, roll over the toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog for 5 breaths here. Reconnect to the breath. Can you make your inhalations equal to your exhalations? On your next inhalation, step forward or jump forward in between the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle your arms up in a chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, come up, Samastiti. Surya Namaskar A B, the second round. Inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg comes up. Exhale, the right leg in between the hands, left leg 45 degrees. Inhale, rise. Exhale, right foot steps back into a high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing. Inhale, the left leg goes up. Exhale, left foot between the hands. Inhale, rise. Exhale, left foot goes back and into a high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Gaze is towards the belly button, towards the navel. Hands are pressing firmly into the mat. Our shoulders are rotating outward. And on your next inhalation, step or jump forward in between the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, Samastiti. Round 3. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or jump back into high plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Roll over the toes, inhale. Exhale, roll over the toes. Inhale, right leg comes up. Exhale, right leg between the hands. Inhale, rise your arms up. Exhale, down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, left leg in between the hands. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for 5 soothing breaths. If you're tired, give your body what it needs and come into a child's pose for 3 more breaths. Is your breath equal? Are the inhalations as long as the exhalations? Come and meet me again in child's pose, in downward facing dog. Step or jump back in between the hands. Exhale, fold. Stay in Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Move on to our standing asanas. Let's start with the Trikonasana, Utthita Trikonasana. Take a step back with your right leg, pointing your foot towards the opposite direction of the mat. Extend your right leg, open up your arms, and then reach with the right hand towards the right big toe. Open up the chest and gaze towards your left middle finger towards the ceiling. You can also use a block if you cannot reach the toe. Just make sure that your shoulders and your chest are open. On your next exhalation, come down and inhale, circle your arms back up. Exhale and come into the pose in the opposite direction. Look up to your right hand, gaze towards the ceiling for 4 more breaths. On the next exhalation, arm down, inhale, come up, and step back to the front of your mat for Samastiti. Now take a bigger step back for a high lunge. Sink deep into your right leg. You can use another block for this asana, or you just lean onto your right upper leg. We're going to go into a diagonal pose. Our arm is going to be an extension of our left leg towards the ceiling to feel a very nice and deep side stretch. Exhale, come down. Inhale, circle your way up, power in the legs. Pivot your feet towards the other side of the room and sink in to your left leg for the opposite asana, opposite side. Gaze towards the left hand. And breathe. Exhale, come out of the posture. Inhale, come all the way up. And come back in Samastiti. This was Parvrita Parsvottanasana. Now let's do a vinyasa. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, come into a plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. For one breath more here. Make sure your breathing is equal. Inhale, step or jump in between the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Samastiti. Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale, circle your arms up. Get into a chair pose. Make sure your knees are not over your toes. And breathe here. 3 more breaths. Breathe. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or jump into a high plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg goes up and step in between the hands and rise your arms up. For 5 breaths here. Make sure your arms are next to your ears, not your shoulders. Shoulders are still relaxed and legs are strong. Now, keep on gazing towards the ceiling. Pivot towards the other side of the room for the opposite leg. Sink in a little bit deeper. Virabhadrasana B. Open up your arms for a warrior 2. Check your arms if they're aligned, and then gaze over the left arm towards your left middle finger. Make sure the shoulders are open. Inhale, open towards the other side, and exhale, sink into your right leg for the opposite direction. Breathe here. Legs are strong. Arms are strong. And traditionally, we come out of this posture in a little handstand So just kick your legs up, be playful, kick them up, come down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can either stay here in a downward facing dog or come into our Balasana, our child's pose, for an extra rest. And meet me again in a downward facing dog. Inhale, step or jump in between the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Samastitihi. Now onto our seated asanas. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step or jump back into a high plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now jump into a seated cross-legged position. And just extend your legs. Sit down for Dandasana. Place your hands next to your body. Flex your toes and the muscles in your legs, and actually automatically your heels will come off the floor. Breathe here for a few more times. Paschimottanasana. Fold forwards from the hips. Paschimottanasana A. Grab the big toes and fold forward. This is your option 1. You either stay here or inhale, open, exhale, fold, and you grab your big toe, all of your toes. The third option, C, is to interlace your fingers behind the feet. And if you have a lot of space here in this asana, you fold forward and you grab your opposite wrist with your hand. Every inhalation, you open up a little bit more. And every exhalation, you go a little bit deeper. We don't have to try all options, just choose the one that's comfortable for you. Inhale, cross your leg for a seated vinyasa. Fold and roll over the legs. Go into a high plank, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Jump back into a seated position. Into your Navasana. 5 breaths here. We're going to do this one 5 times. Roll over a little bit and lift yourself up with the hands. You can either leave the floor and then go back into Navasana for 5 more breaths here. Round 2. Roll over, push yourself up and off the floor for 5 more breaths here in both pose. Push yourself up and 5 more breaths here. Round 4. Keep on smiling. This is going to be burning. This is going to be strengthening your core. And it will teach us, and come up again. And it will teach us to stay calm and to stay breathing, even when situations get difficult. Now roll over, jump back into a high plank for your seated vinyasa. Chaturanga Dandasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can also come into a balasana, into a surrender asana, the child's pose, for deep rest. In this asana, focus on your breath. Now come back and meet me again in a downward facing dog. Jump back into a seated position and lie down onto your back for Urdhva Dhanurasana, the wheel pose. Place both of your feet on the mat and then bring your hips up into the sky. Bring your shoulders closer together and then interlace your hands behind your back. Push the hips up high into the sky for 5 breaths here. If you are familiar with this asana, you can go straight into a full wheel pose. We're going to do this 3 times. Round 2, lift yourself up, either in half a wheel or full wheel pose for 3 more breaths. Calm down. 1 breath here. And then place your hands next to your ears. Inhale, push yourself up for 5 more breaths. And exhale, come down. Roll over for Vinyasa. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And now on to our finishing asanas. Come into a seated position. And either you're going to try to sit in a comfortable Sukhasana seated position, you try a half lotus, or if that works for you, you can even come into a full lotus. It's your practice, so do what is good for you. Then we're going to grab our opposite elbow, or if it's available for you, you can grab hold of your big opposite toes. For me, that's not available, so I grab my opposite elbows. I come back to my breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, fold forward for 5 slow and equal breaths here. Here we calm our minds, come back to stillness. Stay present. Inhale, come up. And then just a little counter pose. Place your hands behind you, fingers pointing away from you. Let your head hang back. Just for a little counter stretch, a counter pose. And breathe here. Come back to center. And then place your hands in Jnana Mudra. Thumb and index finger touching. And breathe here. You've worked hard. Now we're moving less, but we're staying as present with our breath and our body. One more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Get out of the posture and let's do our last vinyasa of today. Shoot the legs back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or jump in between the hands into a seated position, and then lie down onto your back. I actually like doing a supported Shavasana, our final resting pose or corpse pose. So you can place a bolster if you have one or a pillow under your knees, and then grab an eye pillow or something, or maybe a towel or a blanket, and you can cover your eyes. Make sure you don't get cold. So if you are quite cold, maybe take a blanket to cover you up, and then let your hands rest next to your body, or place them in a cactus position. So cactus them up for an extra heart opener. And then just let go of any efforts, let go of any controlled breathing. Exhale a few times through the mouth. Let go. This Shavasana might seem easy, but could be the most difficult posture of our asana practice, as we are trying to stay present, although our body is resting. We don't fall asleep, but we rest with awareness. And you'd go and sink deeper and deeper into the floor, but stay present, stay aware. And when it's time, I will bring you back. But for now, rest and stay present. Just for a few more minutes. And when thoughts come, don't push them away. Thank you, mind, for trying to solve and create problems. But right now, I'm resting. And the thoughts will disappear. And don't rush this Shavasana. Take your time to incorporate your practice by staying in rest for just a few more minutes. Then gently, gently, when you're ready, start bringing movement back into your body. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Maybe give yourself a nice stretch. Roll on to your right side of your body. And then whenever you're ready, in your own time, you're going to come back up, but your head will come up last. And you keep your eyes closed for just a little bit longer. Come back into your Sukhasana, your easy seated position. Place your hands in front of your heart and bow to your heart, which is your own true teacher. And thank yourself for your practice, for being present with yourself. Namaste. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button here. If you are interested in finding more recipes and tips and tricks about Ayurveda, visit www.ayurvedamom.com or follow my Instagram account, Ayurveda Mom. See you soon.